Holy shit. Okay, time now is 10:06 a.m. in the morning. Um yeah, on May 15th, we are 0 days away from graduation. It's finally happening. I just left from I think 5:55 to about 10:50. So no, about 9, actually about 9:45, yeah. So less than 4 hours basically. Holy shit. I'm so sleep deprived and tired, and I can't believe I can't believe I have so much to do every day, so much so that even at the very end of the semester, at the very, very, very end of my school life, I'm still literally dying. That's the fucking spirit, man. Anyways, I actually did not talk about yesterday at all last night because at around 4:30 a.m. I fell asleep on my chair, and yeah, I was just like zoinked. It was like flashbang waking up. But yeah, yesterday it was, again, I was outside for almost the whole day. I took a bus to downtown LA, met my parents, and then we took a whole hour to get to Hollywood because my parents had to figure out how to work with the machine, and everyone had to buy a specific tap card so that they could travel to Hollywood. The alternative is Uber or Lyft, of course, which is just too expensive. And then, yeah, we arrived at Hollywood, which to me is just kind of a shitty place. But I guess to them it's a little cool. We went to In-N-Out. We had In-N-Out. We waited forever to get our order because it was very popular In-N-Out. But we ate it. We were satisfied, and then I was like, I gotta go back home. I gotta go back home. The thing is, like, every single day I'm living life on the edge. I barely have time to finish the paper. Last, like 2 nights ago, I think my paper was at page 7 out of like 15 pages. And so I started writing the paper on my phone. I'm like, fuck it, I cannot wait. So on the metro, I started writing the paper. At In-N-Out, I continued writing. Every time I have spare time, I continue to write my paper on my goddamn phone. And the thing is, I don't have the sources. I don't have the readings, so I just uh, use what I remember, and I cite the sources later, basically. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um, but yeah, I immediately went back home. I took the metro back to a USC Expo, and then I took my family to the USC bookstore, and I'm like, okay, I'll go home. And then I walk back home because buses don't work anymore, because of course. Um, and then after got back home, it's like 4:30. Like, are you fucking kidding me? The commencement starts at 6:30. I don't have fucking time to write the essay. I got back home, and the only thing I can really do is to change my clothes. So I changed my clothes, and then I took a lift back to the USC Village, where I meet my family, and then we all collectively walked to the Coliseum. It was a nice walk because all these USC students are all in cap and gown, and we're all just migrating towards the south, which is such an image, such an imagery. Um, and yeah, and then the commencement, which is the main course of the day, and We took a bajillion photos outside of the Coliseum. And then my parents left, my family left, and I went on my own. And, so I don't know. I was, Christian wanted to see me, Maisie wanted to see me, and then the Woos, like, I wanted to also stay with the Woos, but the Woos are nowhere to be found because they're hella late. So I ended up going with Maisie. So yesterday, the entire commencement ceremony, I was just with Maisie. I went to a gate 28. I got a little confused. Maisie called me, and then I went to section A2, where pretty much the film people are, and a bunch of other people, I guess, like some SDA or whatever. And yeah, I went to see Maisie, and they were just there. And then and then I started seeing a lot of other people like Thomas Fitzgerald and Chloe Eloise. I didn't say hi to them. I saw Octavian and Michaela Ash and Evan Lynn, and all these faces kind of just come back. It's like a retrospective. I saw this British girl, Laura Furness Rowe. I've never seen her before. I finally got to see her in person, and she's talking to Maisie and everything. And she stayed with us. Me, Maisie, and Laura Furness Rowe, we were like together. We were sitting together, which is really crazy. I literally just met Laura Furness Rowe, but she's so extroverted and like bright and like jokey. She's like the Joker, basically. And even though she's British, she sounds American. So that's weird. Um, yeah, who else did I see? I saw like Ryan Leung, the Asian guy, whom I met in my first semester. And then I saw Summer Biftar, who is also who I met at work, and apparently I'm the only person she knows in the entire ceremony, which is crazy because she's super senior, even though I'm actually older than her. And then yeah, I saw Matt Chan, but just waved hi. I saw Josh Silva at some point, and Grace Gordon, um, Daniela Chico. I saw Josh O and C Jira in the back, but I ended up sticking with Maisie. So the entire commencement was just with Maisie. We walked into the Coliseum, and it's so fucking big. We walked down the steps, and then we sat at the very bottom, and there's something so epic, so Greek about this. You call it the Colosseum as Roman, but this is also I guess Trojan. So there's a mix. Um, yeah, there's just something so like classical about this situation, uh, but it's also kind of funny. So I was just kind of making fun of it, and yeah, the most of the ceremony is just talking, and I started to fall asleep because I was so sleepy. And yeah, and then at the end we all just stood up for a little bit here and there, and then there's like fireworks and drone show. So that's that. But it's pretty cool overall, and I'm actually really happy that I got to spend it with Maisie because I feel like Maisie, especially I guess coming near the end of my college life, has become one of the more important people. Um, and the woos are like hella late. So, anyways, afterwards we all left. Everyone kind of just dispersed, and there was no signal. And then finally, I received all the texts, and it's like Andrew Wu, and like in the group chat, um, that is supposed to be for the house crawl. We sort of just talked, and they're like, "Come to the front." So I found the woos. I left Maisie. I found the woos. I found Mia Sun, and we all took some photos. And then I left with the woos instead. And then I saw Josh Silva. Talked to him a little bit, and then I walked all the way to the front to reunite with my parents. And then by then it was already 9:30 ish, like 10 p.m. Which is no, like 9:30 maybe. So 2.5 hours before my essay is due. And then so we slowly walked all the way back up north, and then we went to get tacos, which I think should be a tradition. Graduating and then eating tacos at that one taco place. I insisted on it. I really wanted it. Originally, I wanted to get tacos before the commencement, but we don't have time, obviously. So yeah, we got the tacos, and there's so many people in line. We waited forever for the tacos. We waited like 40 minutes or something, and then the whole time I'm just writing my paper. I saw Grace Gordon and Russell Frost. So I talked a little bit. But yeah, finally got the tacos and made a mess al pastor, and then immediately called a lift, immediately went back home, and then leaving my family in the cold in the village, which is sad, but fucking academics, I guess. So I went back home, and by then I have about 1.5 hours, 1 hour and like 15 minutes to write my essay, and I fucking did it. I fucking did it. I went straight in, just on my underwear and my undershirt. I didn't even sit on the seat. I just typed on my computer all the way till the last word. Boom, 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 and then it's done. It's done. So I submitted the essay, and boom, that's it. My last final exam ever. So that is monumental. And then I immediately took a lift back to the village. At midnight, I reunited with my family. They are at the same spot. And then I immediately called a lift to Sanongdang. We arrived at Sanongdang, waited in line for a little bit, and then at 12:45, we finally had dinner all the way till nearly 2 a.m. in the fucking morning. And there's actually like a graduation after party thing at Kate's Show's. I texted Andrew, and Andrew was like, yeah, it's over. It's done. So yeah, I feel a little bad because I'm bringing my family to dinner until 2 a.m. in the morning. But like, that's the life. That's what usually happens to me. I usually have dinner at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. because I just have so much shit to do. That's the life. I'm sorry, but that's it. That's all. And then yeah, so I was just gonna Uber home, but then Maisie was like, "What are you doing tonight?" Like Maisie called me, and Maisie's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm eating with my family." And Maisie's like, "Oh, I'm just thinking of like smoking and chatting." So I almost did go to Maisie's place. I kind of wanted to, but Maisie just went to bed. So I just went back home, and then I just fell asleep on my chair trying to watch a movie. So yep, that's that. That's it. Also, the Ends and Means film is released on YouTube, and I'm not credited at all for some fucking reason. I think they just forgot. Because even like Leia from Czech Republic is credited, which is bullshit because she didn't do jack shit. But I'm not credited at all, which is really funny. So I can't wait to be successful, just for them to realize that they forgot to put my name down. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I have one essay to finish for my internships class, which I'm just gonna bullshit my way through. And then I want to watch Godard's Goodbye to Language, like as a ritualistic thing before I leave, which I highly doubt I have the time to watch, by the way. I also need to do some modifications on my sash, some creative modifications. And then I need to be at the shrine at like 12, so maybe lunch at 11? Or not? I don't know. I have so much food in the fridge. I don't know. Yeah. So, and then I'm not staying with my parents today. I had dinner with my family 3 nights in a row, which has inhibited me from doing things with my classmates. So tonight will be all dedicated to my classmates, and hopefully it'll be a night of insanity and adventures, and yeah.
This is my...
Okay, wait. Where am I entering?
I thought you were from Baby Q.
They don't say my name.
too soon. We lost a brother.
Together to acknowledge that we stand on the land of the Gabrielino Tonga people who were forcibly removed from it. I'm Elizabeth Daly, and it's my great honor to serve as
Your life. Alice Brooks did both. Now, I heard about Alice Brooks before I ever actually met her, because when I started production classes here at USD in 1999, over 25 years ago, oh God, she was...
When you told me to close my eyes, I was back on a scoring stage. I was 4 years old with my father. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. To the class of 2026. It's 2026. Congratulations on this incredible accomplishment, and thank you for
production, which I should not do. Interactive media and games.
presenting the recipients of the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Writing for Screen and Television. Brian North, magna cum laude. The recipients of the Master of Fine Arts in Writing for Screen and Television. Isa Olariwaju, Ciel Saravia Varela, magna cum laude.
Domenica Leon Arellano.
Felipe Mack,
Floor Thor. Grace Marie Galarraga. Stephen Fox. Sue Lee. Mustafa Nawaz Chekra.
Singer, Nanda Kunai.
Lizzie Hendrickson, cum laude.
Elizabeth Grierson, magna cum laude. And the 18,000 graduates who have preceded you, and they're out there waiting to welcome you.
George Karstosha! George Karstosha! What? I don't know what you can do. Spin mode. I don't know. I'll get some drink.
Yeah, no, you can go.
Okay, time now is 3:43 a.m. in the morning. And it's day 0 or day -1 of days until graduation. Where do I begin? I don't really know where do I begin. I don't really know, actually. Also, I'm gonna be eating some apples. Yeah, I slept for about 5 hours, which is not too terrible, but you know, accumulating from being sleep deprived from the last few days. Yeah, it's not a lot. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so after I woke up, I only had about 3 things to do. One is to finish writing an essay for my internship class. Sort of just bullshit my way through a 3 to 4 page midterm paper where I have to hilariously cite 2 sources and write about how this internship has inspired me to network and develop a better strategy to brand myself, networking, all that bullshit. It's literally what I hate. I hate networking. I hate strategizing my own branding. It's so counterintuitive for me. But I did it anyways, and I finished the whole paper in like 30 minutes. While listening to music, I typed bullshit. I literally bullshit my way throughout the entire essay. I quoted Albert Camus because I thought it would be funny. I also changed the whole paper into something extremely biblically serious, and it sounded like I'm having a mental breakdown because I thought it would be really funny. But anyways, that's that. The problem is that I actually woke up around, I think 10, I actually fucking forgot. I think it's like 10:30, and I got out of bed around 11-ish. And then, I actually have to arrive at the graduation ceremony. Wait, when did I wake up? I think anyways, I got out of bed maybe around 10:45, 10:50, and the issue is I actually have to get to the shrine at 12 for my graduation. And so I actually only have an hour to do everything I wanted, which is definitely not enough because aside from the essay, I also wanted to finish Godard's Goodbye to Language. I have about 40 minutes left. And then I also wanted to spend some time to doodle on some post-it notes and then use paper tape to stick them onto my sash for fun, because it would be fun and cool and edgy and quirky. Yeah. So I didn't have time to finish all that, and I ended up doing the essay and then doodling on my sash and just completely skipped the movie. So I did not watch the movie at all, which is fine. The other thing, in order to complicate things, however, I still have photos to shoot at SCA, because the photo shoot with Toll isn't really over because we didn't take any photos at SCA, which is a huge bummer. But then Tool texted me saying, shit, SCA is closed off right now because of the graduation event, so it's completely closed off for some reason. Also, at the same time, the weather is cloudy, but I'm like, you know what, fuck it, there's no other possible opportunities for me to take photos at SCA with a nice camera. So I went over to SCA. I took a Lyft, which again costs me like $10, but you know what, fuck it. It's like my last day at school. Buses are probably not working. I need to get the fuck out. So me, in my cap and gown, in my sash, I have my ID card, my student ID, and my credit card in my pocket with my portable charger. And then I have my phone. And then I brought my magnifying glass, even though I barely took it out at all. That's all I have. And I went over to SCA. I met up with Toll, and then we took some photos of the front gate where it's blocked off behind me, but that's it. And then actually the reason why I wanted him is because I wanted to have a close-up of my face looking very mysterious and not mysterious, looking very forlorn and like just like atmospheric, I guess. So he got a pretty good close-up, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta fucking go. I gotta go to the shrine because everyone's there already. So I crossed the road to the village and then walked east to the shrine, and then I texted Maisie. I was like, Maisie, where are you? Where are you at? Maisie's like, I'm in already. I'm in. The thing is, because I was with Maisie the whole night yesterday almost at commencement, today I actually low-key wanted to stay with Andrew Wu and the Asian gang, basically. Sorry, Maisie, but gotta hang up with another group. So I got to the shrine and I'm just really confused. I don't know where to enter. I don't know how to enter. And also I remembered that I don't have my cap, actually, because it's with my brother. So I asked my brother, where is he? Turns out he's inside the shrine already. And he ran out to give me the cap. And then I was still confused because I don't know where to get in. And then I saw Aiden Burtish. And I was like, Aiden, right? Where do we get in? And Aiden's like, I don't know. So we asked the security's like, go that way. And we're like, okay. So we walk really fast to the back side of the shrine, near the RZC. And then we got in to the stadium-like space. And then there's a little counter. There's a little table where Edith Zhang and someone else is sitting, and we have to just like check off our names and get our card, our pronunciation card, our name enunciation card, and then line up. There are multiple lines. There's like BFA production, MFA production. There's like the animation line, the games line, the map line, the whatever, and then at the very, very right side, it's the cams line. But the thing is, it's actually doubled. So the cams line is divided into the very right side and the very left side. For some reason, we're all just separated. And oh, crazy thing, when I was about to go into the shrine, I still had to like pull out my tickets on my phone for them to scan the QR code. And it took me like a few minutes to do it. And then magically, I guess, out of pure destiny, Andrew Wu shows up, and I'm like, Andrew, stop, please wait, can you wait for me? So Andrew just waited for me, so we got into the line together. So thank God it all worked out. And then Huvo joined, so us three, we sat together, and yeah. In the same line, I saw a bunch of other people, like Lily Yong, Daniela Chico, and at the very front is Ryan Leong, who, the Asian American guy whom I met in my first semester, by the way. And then, so turns out Maisie's all the way on the opposite side. So Maisie's like, okay, well, see you after the ceremony then. So, row after row, we all left. We went in through the shrine. We lined up after each other. We followed the line into the orchestra section of the entire auditorium, and then me and the other camps people, we sat at the very right side, and it's so surreal. It's overwhelming. First of all, I'm in the shrine packed full of people. People are clapping, screaming. Well, not really clapping, screaming. People are talking and there's noise, but it's just so much. And then now I'm just here, and now I'm at the center. And I don't know, this doesn't even feel like school, you know? In the same school, I sloppily wear the shittiest clothes, unshaved, go to class half asleep, and then this is now also me in elaborate cap and gown, haircut, shaved, just, on time for this super grandiose ceremony. So the ceremony started, and it's fine. I didn't fall asleep, thankfully. I thought I would. I didn't. There were some nice speeches. John M. Chu showed up and then gave an award to Alice Brooks. And Alice Brooks gave a really inspiring speech about chasing after your dreams, her lowest moments as a cinematographer. The Hollywood is a wall, and you keep throwing stones at the wall, and you do it for years, you do it for decades, but one day you're gonna see a hole, and then you need to push yourself even harder and try even harder. And there's a lot of passion in that speech. And then Jason Reitman came on, and his speech, we were like, I don't know how we're gonna follow that up, but Jason Reitman's speech is much funnier and also pretty nice, but yeah, it was a good time, it was a fun time, whatever. And then we have the name calling, and it started with the script writers, and then so on and so forth and so on and so forth. It's so fucking crazy that, I guess, yeah, it's so crazy that I don't know, a couple years ago when I attended Ikuo's graduation, I looked at all these names and I'm like, I don't know any of these people, but it's a lot of people, but one day I'll be in there. And now I'm in there and I know these people. I'm just there. Anyways, it's I wanted to go to pee, but I did not. I held it in the whole time. And for some reason Cam's is at the very end. And so it was extra suspenseful and nerve-wracking for me. But yeah, I lined up, and then I gave them the card. They announced my name. I got on the stage, gave them the card. They announced my name, and I'm like, well, I guess this is it. I walked up. I saw the Asian professor who taught us a David Lynch class, who gave me the diploma. And then I walked to Jason Reitman, shook his hand, and then I walked to the dean, shook her hand. I said thank you so much 3 times, and then I walked down the slope, and there was one thing that I was quite wary of, and is I wanted people to cheer for me. 2 years ago at Ikuo's graduation, I thought to myself, when I walk on that stage, I want people to cheer for me. I don't want to be unpopular and unknown like I've always have been. And, well, people did cheer for me. There was noise. I couldn't tell where they're from, but there was some cheering. And I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'm pretty happy that there was some cheering. The thing is, there are actually a lot of like a lot of people in this school, especially like in games major or like map major, who they go up and then no one's clapping or cheering. Thankfully, someone's cheering. I walked down, I saw Naomi Zika and Cynthia Nguyen sitting together, and they were like, congratulations, and I'm like, yeah. And then I walked back to my seats. Yeah, I guess that's it. And then I saw other people, like Josh Silva, I waved hi to Matt Chan, and just a bunch of other people. And then the ceremony's over. Holy shit. I guess that's it. And then so we left, we walked outside. There's a lot of people outside of the shrine. And I was trying to look for my family. And then as I was going closer to the car park, Michelle's just, I heard a familiar voice saying, Enoch? I turned and it's Michelle. And Michelle is in her classic, like, ooh, I'm a widowed housewife in a classic Hollywood film look, which is really funny. While on the call, I have Tova and Lizzie telling me that they are at the car park, the parking lot in front of a white car. So I went back, and they all three of them sort of like say hi. And then we took some photos, and not long later my brother came, gave me a flower, and then my family came as well. Extremely surreal, by the way, extremely surreal. I think I'm still processing the fact that these people are all together in the same space. I don't know what my parents think about the fact that the 3 friends I invited over are all women, and none of them are white, basically. Or Asian, for that matter. I mean, well, Lizzie's South Asian, that's true. But yeah, it's just extremely surreal. And then they talk to each other. I saw Michelle talking about my brother, and I'm like, oh, like I just cannot compute, because in my family, I'm just this, straightforward, kind of like maybe a little particular guy, but like I'm much more playful and weird and wacky in front of my friends. And then when I and Michelle banter, it's like funny, kind of like whimsical banter, and it's so fucking surreal. And then my mom's talking to Lizzie, and it's so fucking like I cannot compute what's going on. So I was just like looking around. I look like I'm high on cocaine, basically. So the crowd moved towards the campus, and then we all scooched to SCA, completely jam-packed with people. And then I saw so many more. I saw Alex Lee taking a photo with her girlfriend at the fountain. I saw Avi Kai, and then we said hi, and then we took a photo together, and then we moved towards the reception. Who else did I see? We arrived at the grass lawn outside of SCI, and it's completely filled with people. It's horrifyingly packed. It's like Eco's graduation, but somehow even worse. And at this point, it got a little confusing, because I mean, I'm really grateful that my family's here. I'm really grateful that Tova, Lizzie, and Michelle are here. I just really want to find my other friends, and we got a lot more photos to take. But then my parents are here, so okay, we'll take photos together first. So we found a nice little space outside of stage 3 and 4, where I took photos with my parents, my family, and then individually with Lizzie, Tova, Michelle. And man, I can only smile so much, But it was nice, and then we hugged, and it's still very surreal, very jam-packed with people. At the same time, I'm like texting multiple people. Like Toll was like, I'm coming. And Toll showed up with his camera, with my lens, taking some photos, and then Toll left. And before Toll came, Toll was actually, oh, I'm with Maisie. And then Toll came individually, Toll left, and then Maisie showed up. And then I and Maisie took a photo. And then I met Maisie's dad. Okay. And then we took a photo, it was nice, and then my parents probably think she's a white girl. And then Maisie's gone, and then my parents and Lizzie, Tova, Michelle, they all left. And then now I'm just wandering around. But not too long later, I went to reception, and I found them. I found Andrew, Brandon, I found Harley, Daniel Pan, Ethan Kwan, Kate. We took a photo together. And then I walked around, and I saw Ethan Go, I saw Ife, I saw Sydney White, and took photos. I saw Josh Silva, took more photos. Jayun showed up, holy balls. The funny thing is, even though I don't know Jayun that well, but somehow I recognize her shirts. She's wearing the dark blue white polka dot shirt again. Like, she always has the same few shirts. She has that light pale blue with like red splatter, and then of course when she came to see me in Hong Kong, she has that beige tank top. But it's always these few shirts, and then the other kind of like crop top. No, I think this is actually the same shirt she was wearing in Little Tokyo. I forgot. But yeah, and she's nice about it. She's like, oh, congratulations. And we didn't talk that much. I've truly moved on from her, but I'm happy that on the day of my graduation, I still see her. I'm happy. It's symbolic. In some ways, it's symbolic. Truth be told, aside from people like Rachel the Hong Konger and Glenn, almost every key personnel I've met in SCA, I meet all at once today, which is so overwhelming. Again, so extremely overwhelming. So many people. But yeah, I signed some yearbooks, which is really nice. Again, like by the way, back in the Form 4 when Tom broke his arm and asked everyone to sign his cast and didn't ask me to sign, I'm like, fuck. But now it's like these are cool film people, and they're asking me to sign their books. Sydney White asked, Ethan Go asked, Alice Liu also asked. And then yeah, I grabbed some water, and yeah, everyone's just so nice and friendly and accepting to me. I just cannot compute what's going on, right? And so the entire thing kind of ends. People are kind of dispersing, and I'm just like, oh well, I guess we have to leave. Oh, I also saw CC, the TA for 290, as we're leaving the shrine, and then we took a selfie. But anyways, I also texted Ethan Go. I was like, take a photo of me, and that was right before I was about to walk on stage, and then he didn't respond. And then way later, Ethan's like, oh, you didn't even have to ask me. I got you. And he had a photo of me. And then just now, Olivia Zhang from MFA sent me a video of me walking on the stage. Like, holy shit, people are filming me. I didn't even need to ask them. People are asking me to sign their yearbooks. People are taking photos of me. I feel a part of this. On the very last day, I felt like I'm part of something. Even though I'm not the most popular person there, but I'm a part of something. And you know what? That's fucking good enough. But yeah, we parted ways. So I asked several people about that. I asked Maisie, I asked Ethan Go. I was like, is there some kind of secret after party? And none of them knows. So yeah. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm so fucking sleepy right now. It's not even funny. But anyways, back to that whole insanity. So I follow Andrew Wu, Brandon Wu, Ethan Kwan. The Wus, they're walking back to their place, and they're gonna have dinner with their family. Ethan's gonna go to the village, buy some food. And so I thought, you know what? Well, I'll just walk home. Because the thing is, for the last 3 nights in a row, I've been eating with my parents. And tonight, I wanted to just hang out with friends. Because it's the last day of my undergrad life, literally. Like, I want to be with friends, and I want to be with people, you know. So, the funny thing is, everyone, like Ethan Go, Maisie, they're all hanging out with their parents after the graduation. So that left me completely alone. But somehow, that's beautiful. My parents, they left, they got some food from Trader Joe's or whatever, and then they went back to their hotel. I decided to just walk back home. So, I walked. A slow, quiet walk of retrospection. Just walking on the same road I walk to school whenever I'm late, I'm sweating, or the cold winter days where I had to walk and I listen to music. That one goddamn road I've walked so many times. One last walk. I mean, again, unless I do masters. But I'm wearing my cap and gown. I take them off and I walk, and it gets quiet, the road gets dirty, and there's something so beautifully poignant about this. I arrived home. Also, by the way, Theodore, my next door roommate, she congratulated me this morning. But anyways, I digress. Came back home and I truly felt lost. I don't know what to do. The thing is, I'm not crushingly sad. Unlike secondary school, where there's a real, very powerful sense of melancholy. But now I don't, because I'm just overwhelmed. I just feel like so much has happened in the last 2.5 years of my life at USC. So many scenes are flashing by my eyes that I can't even be sentimental at all because I'm malfunctioning. Then I really quieted down. I went to the bathroom, took a shower, and I didn't even have quote unquote lunch until like 7 p.m. So I didn't really have a dinner today because dinner is just apples. But yeah. So I didn't do anything. I was gonna watch the Godard film, but then I'm just procrastinating and I just don't want to do anything. And I'm waiting. I don't want to spend the night by myself. Toll called me and Toll wants to return my lens. And I'm like, sure. At around 9:15, Toll arrives at my place, put down the lens, used my bathroom, which I wasn't a big fan of. And then we just spent about half an hour just talking downstairs while he's charging his phone. And it's very interesting because Toll is really younger than me. And even though Toll, he's seen art house films, Michelangelo Antonioni, Terrence Malick, Apichatpong, whatever. But for some reason, USC changed him, and now he's just really into mainstream commercial films, which is so bizarre because it's like the opposite of what usually happens. But Toll right now was like, yeah, that is the right way. I learned a lot in USC about what works and what doesn't, and yeah, and I'm just so happy that USC is giving me all these opportunities, and I met Reese and Zane Zemeckis, and I'm really inspired by them, and they're so talented. And in my head, I'm like, damn, I'm like the opposite, because I'm very anti-establishment. I don't think that way. I always see flaws in SCA. I always see flaws. I mean, I respect filmmakers who make commercial stuff. I personally don't want to make commercial stuff, but overall, like the way SCA imposes that dogma on you is just so, like, I'm so done with it. So we had a little talk, a little mini debate, but a friendly one at that. And then it's 10:15, and then at around 10:30, 10:40, I asked Andrew Wu, because no one's hanging out with each other. Like, no one's hanging out. But Andrew, Brandon, Kate, Ethan, etc., they're planning to do this bar crawl / karaoke thing, because why not? So I asked Andrew Wu, and then Andrew was like, turns out a bunch of SCA film people are going to Tenants, which is a bar, and so maybe we'll go. So take a lift over to Kate's place ASAP before we leave. So I took a lift to Kate's place, the usual spot, the hub, the Asian film hub. And then I showed up and I saw Andrew and Brandon. They have their sashes with them. And I'm like, I should have brought my sash. So immediately Brandon took the car and then drove me back to my place. I picked up the sash, changed my shirt, and then I went back. And I'm glad I did, because I also took the magnifying glass with me. And then we stayed at Kate's place, and then we pregame. I drank a can of beer, and then there's Keisha, who already seemed drunk. There's Ethan Guan, there's Daniel Pan. We didn't talk much, but it was nice. And somehow, because I didn't have dinner, and my last meal was like around 7 p.m., I was already a little tipsy because of the beer, which is so crazy. I usually am never tipsy from beers. And then we called a huge lift to Silver Lake. Right. We arrived at Silver Lake. We arrived at this bar. It's called Tenants of the Trees. We entered. And there's one small room, which is really nice. There's one big hall with an outside area. And at first we're like, oh, it seems like no one's there. Very mysterious. And then we went in the big hall, and holy fucking shit. I've been to parties, but this is not a party. This is a bar, and it's like a dance bar. It's so incredibly packed, so noisy, so loud. I feel like I couldn't hear anything for like 10 minutes after I left the place because my eardrums were like smashed. It was dimly lit, so I can't tell what's going on. And I thought, you know what? I should be drunk. I need to get more drunk to enjoy this. So I bought a drink. Well, it's on the Woo's tab. I got a drink. It's this weird watermelon flavored vodka mix, which doesn't taste great. It tastes earthy. But I just drank that, and I started feeling really tipsy. And honestly, it was a lot of fun. Even though I did not know most of the songs, aside from Usher's Oh My God. Which pissed me off, because people are singing along. A new song comes up, and Keisha starts singing along. Keisha grabbed me and started pointing fingers at me. And then the Woos know this song, and Kate knows. I'm like, what? I've never heard of this. And then there are songs where I've heard of it, but I don't listen to it enough so that I know the lyrics. I'm just like, oh my god. But genuinely overwhelming, crushing amount of people. A lot of people I know are not there, but some people I know are there. Like Naomi Zika, Cynthia Nguyen showed up a little bit. And then I saw Elizabeth Greiser. I saw Mustafa as well, speaking of which is really cool that I got to see Elizabeth a little bit again. Who grabbed me and was like, oh, congrats. You know, I saw a lot of people just come up to me and say congrats. I say congrats back to them. People are singing along, dancing. Very intense. At some point, it's funny because, like, we didn't mingle with people. It's just me, Kate, Keisha, the Woos. It's just us sort of just, like, moving around, bouncing around. And the extremely funny thing is, again, like, 6 years ago, I used to be very afraid of this stuff. But now I just go, I drink alcohol, I bounce around, I scream at people. It's awesome. But yeah, eventually, I saw Matt Chan. I'm surprised that Matt Chan was there. Matt Chan was there with his brother, and I've never seen Matt Chan so friendly before in my entire life. Like, he's so friendly. He grabbed my shoulder, and he's like, this is Enoch. He's a good man. He has a bright future. He's going to be the next Wong Kar-wai. And then they both started to try to speak Cantonese to me. Like, trying to congratulate me in Cantonese, and then, yeah, we talked a little bit, and I told him I know his full legal name. So I recited his full legal name. But yeah, and then we took a photo. I was like, do you want to take a photo? He's like, sure. So we took a photo at the bar, and I also saw Thomas Fitzgerald. Thomas was like, Enoch, and I'm like, what? He's like, congrats to the grads. And I'm like, you too. And then I saw Chloe Eloise Malay, who's always partying, super extroverted. But yeah, just crushed, like sardines, basically. But yeah, that was extremely overwhelming, and small part of me wished they would play songs I know, like Death Grips, because I would smash the place up. But I guess I was not given I wasn't drunk enough. I mean, I was very tipsy. And it was hot. And it kept swinging my head. Yeah. So, that's pretty much it. At 2 a.m. they stopped the whole place. They shut it down, and we all left. And then, they called a lift. Yeah. And then apparently there's an after party at Gag House at 2 a.m. after party. I can't do it anymore. So me, Andrew, the gang. I went back to Kate's place, and then I tried to call a lift, but then it's like expensive. So I think Andrew just drove us home. Drew dropped me off. I said goodbye. And then that's it. That's it for my undergrad school life. There, and then it has ended. Or actually it ended at the very end of the graduation ceremony reception, where I just said goodbye to Ethan Go while I went to the village to follow Ethan Kwan because he wants to buy a burger, and then I walked back from the village to the SCA, but I didn't go through SCA, just walking past the front gate just to say goodbye for one last time, and then I saw Ethan Go. But yeah. A lot of strangers congratulate me when I was doing my silent walk. But yeah, it's just such an overwhelming day. So many people, so many interactions, and I feel like I haven't registered with me yet, whether it is sad or happy, or it just hasn't emotionally registered because it's so overwhelming. It's so much to process, and so colorful and noisy.
And yeah, and it's so insane that this is like the first time I graduated. So yeah, I'm so tired. I'm gonna go to bed. One small thing to note: I've been making some Instagram stories. They're garnering so many likes. It's insane. But one thing I really loved was Sunny not only watched my Instagram stories, but this time liked one of my Instagram stories where I reposted a photo of Toll, of myself that Toll took, but I directed. And my caption is, "Where's Vro going?" And Sunny liked it. And I'm just like, oh, on that day, on the day of the graduation, thank you. So yeah, I guess I don't really have time to do this right now because it's so late and I really want to just sleep. But quick retrospective, or instead of retrospective, let's just talk about the 3 things I'm worried about: OPT, the Empire, and Sunny. The harsh truth is I did not graduate as the man I wanted to be. I wanted to have made amazing films, I wanted to be widely known, and I wanted to have a girlfriend. I don't. But I feel like I've been rewarded by things that I did not know I could be rewarded by. You know, a sense of community and support and being accepted and known by people. But in order to achieve that, I went through low points of loneliness. I also think that SCA has been such a great place for self-discovery, and I'm so much more comfortable with myself now. I know myself a lot more now. But yeah, Sunny liking the story is just so nice, and maybe it's a good thing that I'm not seeing her in June because I still have a belly. I'm still not aesthetic enough. In June, I want to work out a lot, shape up, read, write, draw, and then so that when I meet Sunny, I'm going to be sharp and fine as hell. But yeah, on the way back to my place when at the very, very late at night, we're just talking about dating, and turns out KDU has dated like everyone. And then surprisingly, shockingly, Finn Liu had dated Micah Eisenberg, this skinny afro hair white kid. Finn Liu? First of all, I thought Finn is gay or bi, which I guess makes sense. But also, it's just, I don't understand love, man. People just like get together suddenly and then they just are together. I feel like with Sunny, it shouldn't be that complicated, right? I'm gonna ask her out and it's gonna work out, hopefully. So yeah, unfortunately, I've never dated anyone still by the time I graduated. But if you count the Empire and Sunny as trail-off products from the school, then I'd say yes. But yeah, I'm so tired. Oh, my legs are broken. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Bye.